So yeah, as you can see, I'm not on my bike today. I know it's not because of the snow, because I've ridden in worse weather than this.
Riding through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh.
But as you've probably seen from my post on YouTube, I've not been on my bike for a while now, and that is because of the whole... Won't say the word because YouTube doesn't like it, and I'm sure it'll just ban my YouTube channel or whatever it wants to do. But you get the picture, okay? So yeah, there is a lot of police about at the moment, and usually if you're on your bike, they will likely just pull you over because they see you as just somebody who's going out for a ride for pure enjoyment, which is not allowed anymore, okay? You're not allowed to enjoy yourself. But this brings me on to the topic of what's been on my mind now for the past week, and that is doing your license and doing CBTs and the theory test, as well as your mod 1 and your mod 2. Now I think not being able to do a CBT in lockdown is really quite pathetic. When I first did my CBT, it was like a whole new world because it opened up a lot of doors for me, you know, job wise. I felt more independent and I'd be able to travel further for work and also just to get out of the house and not be in a situation where I had to rely on other people to take me places. And it was extremely cheap back then because I was thinking about getting a car, but the cost of insuring a car was crazy. It would have cost me at the time £5,000 for the year for a really small little car, and I really wasn't prepared to do that, and I had always wanted to own a motorcycle, so that's when I took my CBT, and now I've been riding for the past 10 years on a CBT. And that's why I think a CBT is brilliant, because it really does open up a whole new world for you. If you are a key worker like myself, then if I only owned a motorcycle, it would be my only mode of transport. Now they are saying use public transport, but if you're in public with more people, then surely that virus is going to spread quicker. So I do feel sorry for people in city centres where they're couriers and they rely on having a CBT to work, basically. And I can see a lot of people just riding around illegally because they have no choice, and I really don't blame them, to be honest with you, because they have been put into a situation where they're not able to basically have a life. You know, if you can't work, you can't have money, and if you're forced to sit at home all day, you're gonna get depressed, okay? And I don't see the problem of being out and about on your bike, riding alone. I really don't get why they've made it such a big thing. Okay, so next what I want to talk about is theory, okay? Yes, I kind of understand it a little bit why they've stopped doing theory tests, because it is in a computer-based environment, so you are going to be next to people, but the simple thing to do with that is to have 2 people in at a time and just segregate them. They're big enough to have 1 or 2 people in at a time. I don't see why that would be a problem. Now I did recently sign for a petition where it would be held up in government to get theories extended for another 2 years. Now unfortunately, even though this had over 10,000 signatures, it still got declined in government, which I think is a big shame. I don't see why it makes such a difference when you will be doing your CBT anyway, and then you've had that training on the road and you're used to the signs, the way the road's laid out, all the laws that apply to the road. So why then do you need to do another theory test after 2 years of already doing it? You know, I think in the certain position that we are in at the moment, it should have just been extended for another 2 years. And that's left me in an awkward position as well, because my theory test runs out in July. So I don't see, other than them wanting to make more money off it, that it would make a difference. Now I can't see myself getting the test done this year. I mean, unless I'm very lucky, because for one, when lockdown does get lifted again, there's going to be so many people going in for tests such as the CBT, your mod 1, your mod 2, then going for training for whatever else it may be. And I think there's just going to be a massive queue of people who rely on owning a motorcycle that need to get their license done. With your Mod 1 and your Mod 2 training, as well as your CBT actually, you're not in a confined space like you are in a car. You can segregate yourself from the other person teaching you to ride, and also you don't need to be in big groups. Now usually on CBTs there's about 3 or 4 people doing it at one time. I don't see why there would be a problem to just do one person at a time. If you are just doing one-on-one with your instructor, then there shouldn't really be much of an issue with the whole transmission of the virus. Then I don't see that there would be an issue with the whole transmission of the virus. And with the Mod 1 and Mod 2, you do need to get as much training in as possible, and that be it on the roads as well as with your instructor. And this is why I don't get why they're making it such a big problem, because you are on your own. You don't have to be riding in a group. You're not in the same cabin as you would be in a car as other people. You're completely separated from them. You have a helmet on you already, so that's already covering the breath that you breathe out. The list goes on and on to why we should be allowed to do our training and do our tests. I really do feel sorry for people now who have been looking forward to getting their first spike, and now they've been completely turned down from doing it. Like I said, doing the CBT for myself was a complete game changer. For myself, I had depression, and being on a bike helped that so much. And I can't see it being healthy for people who are just getting into bikes now, who do suffer from mental illness, and then being told, you're gonna have to wait for another year. Unfortunately, mental health doesn't just wait, okay? It doesn't just wait around. Now during World War II, and I guess you can't really compare this virus to World War II, licenses completely stopped, okay? So the instructors that were doing the tests were helping to direct petrol tankers and doing all that. They were helping during the war effort. And what you had was a lot of people just driving around illegally. And I can see that this now is going to be the exact same thing, where you're going to have a lot of people who are wanting to ride but haven't got the license because they're not allowed to get a license, and then just thinking, screw it, I need this job, so I'm going to risk it and ride around on my bike illegally to do it, or screw it, I'm fed up of not having a license, I'm fed up of being stuck in my house all the time when I'm not harming anybody, I'm not interacting with anybody, and I just want to go for a ride and clear my head. And you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be doing that illegally. And this is why I don't understand the government's thought process to where you can't do your license when there are measures in place where you don't need to even interact closely to your instructor at all. How is it that we can interact with hundreds of people on a daily basis in shops getting our food, but something as simple and easy as this to contain, we can't do it? And for the life of me, I will never understand why we are in this predicament. I really do not understand it at all. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think the world's gone mad? Do you think this is a stupid thing that the government are doing, or do you think it's the right thing that they are doing and it's all for the benefit of us? Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I wish I was on my bike again now, but it's probably best not, because the weather's not looking too great anyway.